Arsenal are one of the teams eyeing James Maddison, a player who plays for Leicester City that was relegated over the weekend. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. It's the Arsenal News Show as we dig deep into the matters of Emily Smith-Rowe. Either leaving Arsenal or staying at Arsenal. David Austin, Tier 1 journalist, has gone ahead and really dropped a very huge update as far as Emily Smith-Rowe leaving or staying Arsenal is really concerned. Smash the like button, comment and share, and if at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time we upload a video onto our lovely YouTube channel. And lastly, we're going to talk about Erling Haaland coming out and obviously hailing or giving Martin Odeegard his flowers. That's it. So let's set the ball rolling. Not so? Good evening, guys. How is your day? And let's do this. Now, John Cross is a chief football writer, author, chair of Football Writers Association in the Mirror, has gone ahead and he told us that Tottenham, Newcastle and Arsenal are among the clubs eyeing up James Maddison, who could go for around £40 million. Leicester City value him more than £50 million, and we'll have to hope there is a bidding war for his signature to drive up his value. Now, Arsenal is one of the teams chasing for the signature of James Maddison. James Maddison is really a talented lad, and it's not the first time that Arsenal have gone ahead to show interest in the player. This James Maddison guy is really talented and extremely one of those players that you really don't underestimate when it comes to natural talent. He's a naturally talented player. He's 26 years of age. That is it. And November this year, he's making 27 years of age. And this has been a move that has been longly awaited for by James Maddison in his career. Arsenal came in for James Maddison in the summer of 2020. And Leicester City were calling in for close to, £80 million. Then the next summer of 2021, before they went in for Martin Odeegard, Leicester City went in for 65-70 million pounds, and Arsenal said we are not going to go all out and really sign a player of that caliber. But he has been having consistent numbers. Like for example, last season, James Maddison played 30 Premier League games, 10 goals and 9 assists. That is James Maddison. The only worrying bit of it is that he really got 10 yellow cards. You know, he found himself fouling a lot, meaning that he might have missed out on very many games for Leicester City because of that 10 yellow cards. Season of 2021-2022, he played 35 games, 12 goals and 8 assists. So for the previous 2 seasons, James Maddison has been averaging 20 goal involvements. If at all you bring him to Arsenal, he'll be a very good additive, especially if at all Mikel Arteta is really looking for replacement of Granit Xhaka, a more forward-minded player that is going to get you more than what you want. And it comes to my mind that Arsenal found themselves in a situation of understanding that maybe Fabio Vieira will be needing a lot of time to come in through and obviously cope up with the Premier League, and they need another player to come up and compete with Martin Odeegard. Look at Martin Odeegard and how he's playing. If he's playing like that without pressure, how do you think Martin Odeegard is going to be playing if at all he knows that there is a player who can really come in through and obviously gate Arsenal the best that they've been getting from Martin Odeegard? I think James Maddison can come up and really push Martin Odeegard to the next level, because Fabio Vieira looks like he's not going to push Odeegard to the next level. So I anticipate that Arsenal's interest is really genuine, according to me, and they are really one of those teams that are really in for James Maddison. And James Maddison fits into that Arsenal side. It fits into that Arsenal side. You know, sometimes there are games you see to it that Odeegard has dropped off and he doesn't need to play any more minutes. But because Arteta finds himself in a position of not having anyone on the bench who can come in through and obviously produce exactly what Odeegard does, he just keeps him on the bench. He just keeps them on the pitch. The same applies to players like Bukayo Saka. Each and every time he's doing stuff that Mikel Arteta doesn't want, he cannot really take him off the field of play. Why? He's the only player he has that can do the job. He lacks a player off the bench who can really come out and obviously do what Saka does in a nick of time. The only position that's going to have to get solved, I think, is the Martinelli position with the coming in of Leandro Trossard. At least for that, you will know that if at all Leandro Trossard really comes on, you expect some bits of magic to come out of his dues. That is Mikel Arteta for you. So he needs to come out and obviously get in more players for each position. And I think he's chasing in to get in players to it that he's having a fully fit 22-man squad with 2 players per position that can come in and obviously compete for each position. But James Maddison is an all-round player. He can play off the left attacking side of the midfield where Martinelli plays and Trossard. He can play exactly where Bukayo Saka plays. That is James Maddison for you. But let's talk about the stiff competition from other teams that have been mentioned above. Newcastle and Tottenham Hotspur. I think I'm getting Tottenham Hotspur out of the equation because they are not in the Champions League. Newcastle and Arsenal are in the Champions League, and if at all the interest is really genuine, obviously you expect James Maddison to make a move and obviously go to a side known as Arsenal or Newcastle. So to me, I believe the immediate competitor of Arsenal is Newcastle, though Ekrem Konwa, a global transfer expert, has also gone ahead and confirmed the story that Tottenham Hotspur, Newcastle, Manchester United is another one, and Arsenal are among the EPL clubs interested in Leicester's James Maddison, and the 26-year-old midfielder could go for around 50 million euros. So I think 40 million pounds for Maddison is not bad. Having signed a new contract with Leicester City, I think it's not bad, but he's hinting about Manchester United into the mix. I don't think United is going to go in for James Maddison. Do you know why? They are in for Mason Mount. And if at all they sign Mason Mount, of which it's rumored that it might be one of the first deals to be done by Manchester United at the opening of the transfer window. Reason is simple, because James Maddison is not included into the English squad that is going to play in the next, I think, 2 weeks. I think that's when they're going to play, and then they go for holidays. So he's having ample time and he's going to face Pochettino and tell him, please, I'm not staying at Chelsea. That's it. I'm not staying at Chelsea. So that is one of the deals that are going to happen. If at all United goes ahead to sign Mason Mount, of which it's a given, and they are leading the rest, and even the player is sold onto a move to come on and really play for a team known as Manchester United, then Arsenal and Newcastle will be left in the rest to sign James Maddison. So that's what we are getting in from James Maddison. Ekrem Konwa and John Cross coming in from the Daily Mail about the deal of James Maddison. Now, I brought you a story that Arsenal are contemplating onto selling Emily Smith Rowe. All parting ways with Emily Smith Rowe. Today, number one tier journalist David Austin has gone ahead and addressed the issue of this lad who has been disturbed by injuries all of this season. David Austin has told us that Arsenal have no intention of letting Emily Smith Rowe leave the club this summer. He remains an important part of Arteta's plan. He has been with Roche. He's an Arsenal writer for The Athletic. Then they went on to let us know that there has been speculation over Emily Smith Rowe's future with Aston Villa, one of a number of clubs with a long-held interest in him. However, they hope he is will be a key player for England at under 21 Euros Championship later this summer before returning to full fitness and join Arsenal in the pre-season to see to it that he shines up and obviously stays at the club. So The plan is Arsenal aren't willing to let Emily Smith Rowe go. As I've already told you that he had a very fantastic season of 2021-2022, and this season has been bad for him because he has been injured. But Arteta and Edu still believe in the player. They believe he still has a lot to hold as a player for the Arsenal club, and they don't want to really risk loaning him out. So their high expectations are he's going to be part of the England Under-21 Championship team that is going to be played in June. Then, if he plays those games as it's expected for him to be one of the marquee players into that tournament, then he'll pick up his form, and by the time they go to America for their preseason, the player, Emily Smith Rowe, would have gone ahead to pick up from where he left the season of 2021-2022. That saw him score close to 10 goals and put in a couple of assists for the Arsenal side. And remember, Emily Smith Rowe was one of the most pivotal players that season, alongside Bukayo Saka and Martin Odeegard plus Thomas Partey. So all those rumors that have been recirculating around that Emily Smith Rowe is going to be loaned, Smith Rowe is going to be sold, David Austin has told us that being that, just being all that, and obviously follow what I was going to let you know that the player is not up for sale, and Arsenal not considering to really put him out on loan either. Why? The more they really put out players like Emily Smith Rowe on loan, the more it requires them to bring in more players. They've already lost one midfielder in the names of Granit Xhaka, and they don't want to find themselves falling culprits of losing more at the club of Arsenal. So let's wait and see how that is going to pan out, but it's good news for Arsenal fans. I remember when I did that story of Emily Smith Rowe being considered to be sold by Arsenal, I got close to 10-15 comments on a story just not okay with the board of Arsenal letting Emily Smith Rowe go. So as it stands, Emily Smith Rowe is considered a very important player of the squad of Arsenal. They don't want to see him leave. Now, Erling Haaland has gone ahead to give his national team captain his props, that is Martin Odeegard, and this is what he had to say about the Norwegian. He said, if I had to pick another player to have one player of the year, I would say my Norwegian friend Odeegard has had really a good season, and it's no brainer that Odeegard has been one of the best players in the league, and he has gone ahead to shock very many with his performances this season, putting out 15 goals with no penalties and 8 assists. Those are 23 goal involvements. It's really insane for the club of Arsenal. So I think he's really right. If you contemplate on it, you really understand that he really holds a point about Martin Odeegard. Odeegard is one of those players of Arsenal that has gone ahead to look very good and register double figures as far as goal involvements are concerned. When you look at Martinelli Gabriel, he scored 15 goals and 5 assists. Those are 20 goal involvements. Bukayo Saka, 15 goals, I think 14 goals and 11 assists. That is Bukayo Saka for those are 26 goal involvements. And those are 3 players that really were into that ilk of hitting a 20 plus goal involvements. Then there came Gabriel Jesus, who went ahead to score 11 goals and 5 assists. He was just 3 goal involvements away from hitting 20 goal involvements. So it shows you that Arsenal is having a front 4 that is really on fire, because they are almost near that 20 goal involvements mark. That really pans out to be one of the deadliest squads. And if at all Arsenal can keep that level and see close to 3 or 4 hit 20 goals a season, because Odeegard was 5 goals away from hitting 20 goals a season, Saka was 5-6 goals away from hitting 20 goals a season, Martinelli was 5 goals away from hitting 50 goals in the Premier League, I mean. Then Jesus was just 9 goals away from hitting 20 goals a season. I think that should be the goal of Arsenal next season. Increase on the number of goals you're scoring, and obviously decrease on the number of goals you're gonna hate to concede, because the reason as to why Arsenal's gonna hate to lose the trophy, it's because they failed to do the needful to really not limit the number of goals going past their goal line. So guys, your thoughts on Arsenal eyeing James Maddison are welcome in the comment section below. Then Emile Smith Rowe going nowhere. Are you excited, guys, about that? And Erling Haaland giving Martin Odeegard his props. Your thoughts onto that are welcome. I sign out for now. See you later. And I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. My Muslim friends, may Allah bless you abundantly. Me out for now. See you later. Ciao, ciao.